Welcome to Featured Insights, presented by Caroline Economic Development. I'm your host, Debbie Bowden. This podcast is for all size businesses in Caroline County and the Eastern Shore of Maryland to learn from experts at the local, state, and national level. We hope that you gain insights that can help your business run more effectively. Welcome, Dr. Derek Simmons, Superintendent of Caroline County Public Schools. Thank you so much for coming out today and talking with us. This is Caroline County Economic Development and Tourism Featured Insights. So we're going to have just a conversation about a very important partnership, and that is between the business community, the residents, the families, Caroline County Public Schools. And we'll talk about those partnerships. So, but I do want to know, so we're halfway through a school year, right? How's it going so far for the 22-23 school year?
Debbie, we'll just say everything's perfect and leave it from there.
Okay.
No, actually, it's been a good start to the school year. We are about halfway through. It's quite the cold day today. We've only had one weather delay, which, to be honest, as you get older, you don't like to see the white stuff falling down, regardless of the position. So I'm glad that weather isn't impacting us much. Looking forward to being warm next week. In terms of the school year, it's a much different year than last year. Last year was a tough start with the impact of COVID. So we've been excited to see kind of a return to normal, or a little bit of a new normal. But one of the biggest, I think, changes that we've gotten used to is that it's been great getting our community back into our buildings.
Okay.
It was a little different in the fall. We had a piece like, whoa, we can have parents come back in on visitation days. Of course we can.
Awesome.
But it was just a adjustment of going back. It's been a couple years.
I think we forget about that.
Yes.
Right? There was the whole new millennial going from 1999 to 2000, and we lost that whole 10 years. And now we've lost since 2019 to now. Right. So it's been a couple years, and you've got folks coming back in.
Yeah, it's been great to have the community come back in for visitation days. It's been great to see our auditoriums full for our fine arts performances in December, sporting events. It's just great to have the community back involved in the school. We are a product of the community. We're part of the community, so it's great to have people back in.
So one of the things I know we've talked with offline is your workforce, and you were happy to say that at the beginning of the school year, you were 100% or 98%?
We were probably 98, 99%.
Okay. Where are you now?
We're not there.
Okay.
We started out really strong, which was great. At the start of the school year, it was actually two of us on the Eastern Shore were sitting really well. For Caroline County, we were awfully excited because we were in the same category as the wealthiest school district on the shore, Worcester.
Oh, wow.
It was nice to be in the same boat of them, of having staffing levels where they were.
Sure.
Which was great. Life happens. Things happen. We don't quite have the same staffing level that we did. We're down about 12 positions right now.
System-wide.
12 positions system-wide, and for a variety of reasons. Typically during a school year, as folks outside of education may not be aware of, teachers do leave. In a normal year, teachers have always left mid-year for various reasons. Whether it's birth of a child, some of our folks, you go to college thinking you want to teach, and you get into teaching and you're going, this isn't quite what I thought it was.
Okay.
And then some people have left education for private sector opportunities. That's very real. People do job hop,
right.
Just like in other professions. And then we do have some of the challenges. It's been a challenging year coming back from COVID. Some of those challenges do exist, and Caroline County is not immune to teacher shortage issues like anywhere else.
Okay. So what kind of steps are you taking to help mitigate that? So all the way from, recruiting, advertising, retaining, job sharing, et cetera, it's, as you said, a lot of folks don't realize that teachers will leave in the middle of a school year. I didn't realize that either. So I think a lot of our businesses that are listening may not realize that you, as an employer, you have those same challenges. So share some of the things that you're doing that maybe someone else can pick up and do.
Sure. So we have an active HR department, just like everybody else, and historically, 10 years ago, the education HR department would really be in heavy swing spring months through the summer. School year starts, things slow down a little bit in terms of recruitment and retention. It's not been the case really in education for the last, even pre-COVID.
Okay.
Just as people change jobs and those things happen, So we do a lot of recruiting all year round. We spend a lot of time talking with our local colleges as well as colleges out of state
Okay.
to see who they have in the pipeline. We have increased our number of career-changing folks, so folks who may have a college degree but not the teaching certificate.
Okay.
And then we work with them to get the teaching certificate. So we've seen an increase in some of those individuals, which is wonderful. And then nobody wants to admit this, though it's being recorded. We do recruit from people around us. Everybody
sure.
does.
Yeah.
As a superintendent, of course, I don't. But people talk, friends talk.
Right.
We all have friends in neighboring jurisdictions. We have friends in a state that we border. And when opportunities come open, people will take advantage of those opportunities. One of the things that we've tried to work on and will continue to, and Debbie, for the folks who may be listening in, who may not kind of know the story of Caroline over the last several years. I was an interim for a year and a half, and I'm in my first year of my full contract. I've been here 22 years, plan on being here until I retire. This is home. Understanding that Caroline County, we know we're never going to really be the highest paid. If we can hit the mark, I guarantee you we won't keep it.
Gotcha.
It's not the fiscal piece.
Right,
So what we
right.
can do is create an environment that makes people want to be here and stay here. And that's where we're trying to focus our piece on by supporting our staff, supporting our teachers, supporting our support staff, and really retain the people once we get them.
Yeah. And so one of the things I'd always like to do, and maybe sometime I could get a grant and have the school system help out, is do a study on how many people in Caroline County in positions like yours, high-level executive positions, mid-level managers, go off, have education, come back, or go have jobs somewhere else and then come back. I know in my circle, albeit small, I've been seeing that more and more so in Caroline County than other counties. And it'd be interesting to know if in the school system that's the same thing, where you have people who have graduated from the system or in neighboring areas of, neighboring schools come back to Caroline County because they know in their hearts that it's the good place for themselves and their family. So do you have any sense of that, of how many people come back?
Sure. It's actually an interesting thing we've looked at anecdotally. Don't have the numbers to match it. But Caroline County is that place, and it's fun when you go recruit individuals, especially on college campuses who are not from here. A lot of times, first thing people want to know is, what are you close by? Like a 21-year-old, 22-year-old coming out of college, what's nearby, what's the nightlife like, and those things. Our piece, usually where we do our best recruiting, is we're a great place to raise a family. We are a
Right.
great place to settle down. We are a great place to grow your family. That tends to be our niche for recruiting because we do have a better opportunity for those pieces. We will see graduates from high school. They will go to college, sometimes further away because they want that experience. It's different from where they lived. They'll go enjoy their 20s and then make their way back home. See it in education. I've seen it in a lot of the kids that I've worked with over the years in the school system. And I think that's a very real thing for Caroline, which presents itself with some recruitment challenges with getting younger folks.
Right.
But it does help us in retaining folks here. The old joke used to be, appropriate or not, the old joke was always at your new teacher welcome back, you're going, okay, who's single?
Right.
And then we're going to play matchmaker. We would always joke about that because if we could, again, you get
Exactly.
the family tie. People, look outside. This is the place where you want to raise your family.
Exactly. That's
So-
right. And I think that that's something that the business community is starting to embrace too. We hear a lot of, well, we shouldn't lose our young people. And there's two schools of thought to that, right? Right. If there's someone that wants to graduate from the CCPS and start a business or start working at a local business, absolutely. And there's opportunities for them to plant and grow here. But then there's the chance for people to have that other experience, talk about Caroline County, bring themselves, bring their spouse, bring their kids back, and maybe a friend or two. And so I think having businesses understand that our systems, our institutions are going through that same thing that they're going through. And it sounds like having success at getting those family-focused individuals is working. It's working.
Yes,
Yeah.
right now it is.
So speaking of that, so we
Yeah.
talked about going off to college and coming back. something I've heard since I've been here, I'm sure you've heard it a lot too, that the school is only about college and we need to prepare our kids for the trades. Can you talk a little bit about that and about the offerings and the partnerships with the institutions around us and how the students are given options?
Certainly. No, great question. It's one that we've encountered a lot of times. I was a former history teacher, so I apologize for too many trips down memory road and connecting to things that have been about. But it's probably about 10 years ago, the state started changing their messaging around education, that every kid needed to be college ready. Something wrong with college. College is a pathway, but every kid actually needs to be career ready. No parent wants a kid who's going to be in college forever. Can't afford it.
Right.
Every kid needs to be career ready. CCPS has actually had a pretty long-standing tradition of our students graduating through our career and tech programs at CCTC with certifications. We've ranged anywhere from 30 to 40+% of our kids graduating with CTE certificates. So career and technical education.
Okay.
So that's our programs at our tech center. It could be some of ours in our schools, but our carpentry program, our auto tech program, our nursing program, our cosmetology program, our culinary arts program, and to name some. We also have biomedical, we have pre-engineering, lots of programs. So almost half of our graduates graduate with completing one of those pathways. The blueprint, as it comes in, its goal is to have at least 45% of your kids graduating with CTE completers. We're pretty much already there and have been.
Right.
Caroline County Public Schools does recognize we totally know where we're at. Like, we understand, we love our community, we know where we are. Most of us in the school system, though we may have a college degree, our life may not have been the typical what most people think of: go to high school, go straight to college, two-parent household, parents college grads, all like that. That's not been most of our experiences. Most of my colleagues that I work with and talk with, especially those from here, we have a lot of first-generation college folks who are serving as teachers.
Gotcha.
The workforce component is big for many of us. Most of us are families. Can speak about my own as well. I'm the only college grad in my family. Everybody else is in the trades or working in business and doing great. That's where we are. We don't want all of our kids to leave Caroline. There are great opportunities here. We want our kids to be prepared to be successful here. College should be a choice for folks if they want to, but we sure as heck don't want to shove kids into college, convince them it's the only option. And Debbie, just to highlight that piece, and again, we recognize it. Most folks in Caroline County are not going to stroke a check to cover college tuition, even if it's at our local community college. Most of our families can't afford to do that.
Right.
So we have a responsibility to be smart about opportunities for our kids of, if you're going to go to college, make sure you know what you want to go for. It's hard to go find yourself.
Can you say that again, please?
Yeah. Before you stroke the check to go to college, it's important to know what you're going to college for.
That's right.
Find yourself before you commit $20,000, $30,000 a year.
Yeah. That you don't get back.
No.
And that you may owe when you're 40.
And most people who go, especially in our area, will be still paying on their
That's
college
right.
loans at 40. So it's really important to think. We all have stories, right? We all know stories of people who went, changed their degree, or went and were not successful when they finished. They might be doing great now, but they're paying back a college loan for a degree that they never used.
Right.
Might have been a great experience, but the return on investment for that degree didn't yield it, and they saddled themselves with debt moving forward before they've even really had their first job of a career.
Yeah.
So no, we completely understand. We've got great programs. We'll continue to build those. We have a great partnership with Chesapeake College. Chesapeake College has been offering some welding programs for us.
Okay. That's good.
We've not done welding ourselves. So Chesapeake has been fantastic at finding creative ways to make dual enrollment available for more of the trades courses. And I think that's a trend you're going to continue to see happening for our students to have those opportunities as well.
And I think that one of the things we want to do is make sure that the business community it gets there, in today's time, it's all about messaging. We're having this podcast because we need to get the message out about our partners and the insights they have into economic development in the county and surrounding areas. Businesses have changed too. They have to market themselves, and they have to accept that there are talent pools of younger kids and of younger adults that are there, and work with them. I know that we work closely with the Youth Apprenticeship Program. We support and work with the AMP program, the Advanced Manufacturing Program, and there's just these opportunities, but you've got to let your own story be known. And so kind of dispelling that myth that kids are being pushed into college, I think that's a responsibility of everybody. But to your point too, there are some times when you need that higher level of education. So can I ask you a tough question that wasn't on the pre-questions, if you don't mind?
Yes, and I don't want to lose sight of apprenticeship, so I want to circle back to that, but I'll take your question first.
Nope. Let's go to apprenticeships.
Sure? Okay.
Yes, let's stay linear, and then I'll come back to my other question.
Okay, and I just want to stress to anybody watching or listening, our apprenticeship program is an underutilized program. It absolutely is. It is an incredible opportunity for students to get on-the-job training in a career field, get high school credit while they are there in legit work. We have a few students who are doing it and doing wonderful. We had our first one last year. It is a great program. There's going to be increased opportunity through the blueprint to grow the apprenticeship program, which is exciting. But it is an undertapped resource. And I think part of that comes from the way it's structured with Department of Labor and Licensing and getting our businesses to understand what it looks like, because it's so different than anything we've done.
Right.
So Eric Cook, Mr. Cook at our Career Technology Center is the person who oversees apprenticeship for us. I would strongly encourage any business who is interested in Caroline County or in the regional area to please reach out to Mr. Cook. He's talked to a lot of businesses. We'd love to have our kids going in that realm. And on the apprenticeship front, we have career programs. We have career programs at our tech center, as we talked about, but I'm limited in the number of career programs I can offer by the amount of space I have and the staff I have to do it. We have specialized needs in the area. I can't have a course offering for every specialized need. Totally understand that. That is the beauty of apprenticeship.
Right.
A student who wants to get into being a diesel mechanic, where better to learn it with someone who's got that business in partnership with it. So again, I can't stress it enough. Apprenticeships are an awesome opportunity that I think more of our students would take advantage of if we could build that partnership even more with our businesses.
And it's not your father's apprenticeships,
Oh,
right?
no.
It's not a structure that's just based on a union membership, which I think has a little bit, harking back to, decades ago. That's kind of what you thought about. So one of the success stories, if I may, for apprenticeship has to do with IT. And that is with Midshore Technologies. Justin Smith, who owns that company, took on an apprentice, a high school apprentice. I have to say, they came out and did some work for us and were awesome. Chris, I think is his name, the apprentice. Again, a young man, not used to talking with adults, talked with us as if we were just another type of business or resident, was really great. So that opportunity, that's a direct success. And so,
Certainly.
we really, we were going to partner more with Eric Cook and get the message out there, because I think the business community needs to understand that that's an opportunity to get someone in the pipeline and train them like you want them to train them, which is a lot of times what a business wants. So to go back to my other question, that is, it has to do with jobs that are available with degrees. And what the other thing I hear that I've been trying to dispel is that there's no high-paying jobs here. So we touched on this a little bit, the number of people that come back in executive level, manager positions, high-paying positions. Do you guys track that at the school system at all, as far as your graduates, either specifically coming back to Caroline County or the Midshore region and finding success from having gone and gotten the higher level of education?
We have not tracked that.
Okay.
So the state has a survey where they survey all graduates 1 year after graduation. which is only as good as the responses.
Right.
It's not really a great tool. We will be looking to find better ways to survey
Okay.
our students after graduation. We'll be working on that actually this year coming in, so we can get better data on that return. But unfortunately, we do not. But you know it as well as I do. There are high-paying jobs here, some which require a degree, some which do not require a degree. It's funny, I literally had a conversation with someone yesterday at work, and we were having this conversation around paying of jobs and college degree worth versus skilled trades. And the subject of plumbers came up, which is, again, it's a great field. And the world needs plumbers, that is for sure. And then we were having that conversation of how easy is it to find a plumber right now versus how easy is it to find whatever position.
Right.
You know, there are certain trades that there is a lack of folks going in. And it is a highly skilled area. HVAC is another one.
Right.
So they're great opportunities. We have great local businesses that fit those career tracks where the owners are doing great. People working for them are doing well.
Right. Yeah.
It's just having to convince our young folks to take a step in to learn. Day one, you're not going to make $50,000
Right.
going in. You
Right.
got to walk before you run. But if you take the time to go in and learn the skill set, odds are, at least for my friends I grew up with, most of them were earning way more than I was by the time they were 20.
Right.
With me
Right.
sitting in college doing a part-time job at Circuit City trying to figure out how I'm going to pay off my student loans.
Dr. Simmons, how
Yes.
old are you? Circuit City, come on.
But
Right,
it's one of
yeah.
those things where they went into career field trades doing absolutely wonderful, and they literally they owned a house way before I did.
Right.
They were moving along milestones, and it was a great career option, still is.
And I think that there's, getting back to kind of focus on the trades, there's this misconception that means it's just getting dirty, it's just working with your hands. But there is so much math, physics, create in the plumbing, electrical, HVAC, et cetera. I mean, you got to know that stuff in order to take what's on a piece of paper and put it into a machine with your hands. I mean, that's really what that skill is. And then on the cosmetology side or graphic artists, you've got to have that creativity. You've got to be able to think differently. So I think that's the parents and the children and the community all need to recognize that part too. And then if you want to go to college, then you get an MBA and you own your own business and
Yes.
you end up consulting, right?
That's right.
So one of the things I also would like to talk about is how businesses can get connected to the school system. You talked about it with the apprenticeship program, the youth apprenticeship, and that's kind of the school pushing that out, Mr. Cook pushing that out. But if we have a listener that wants to talk to somebody in particular about jobs that they have open or advances in their own industry, how do they do that? Because sometimes an institution like the school can seem closed off. So
Bureaucracies are really good at that.
Yeah.
Or we're really good
Yeah.
about sending people on a wild goose chase.
Exactly.
To get answers. The direct answer would be contact me.
okay.
About as easy as I could put it. Email me, call the office for me, either way.
Can I interrupt you? Can you go ahead and we will put it on the YouTube as a
Certainly.
tag, but if you want to give your phone number and email, say both of them twice, please.
Yes, the office number is 410-479-1460. Again, 410-479-1460. And my email, it's really easy, superintendent@ccpsstaff.org. superintendent@ccpsstaff.org.
Thank you.
That's the easy answer. But I want to unpack it a little bit if I can. So part of, I think, the challenge for our school system in particular is we've kind of put ourselves in a position that everybody has to come to us to tell us what they need.
Okay.
It,
Yep.
so
I see
yeah,
that.
sure, call me. I'll hear you and then funnel you to the right direction. It's that kind of a thing, like
Right.
come knocking on my door. So that puts all the impetus on someone else to find their time, and our business owners are very busy, they're working. So we're starting to take a little bit different approach with our time, whether it be my time as superintendent, whether it be other individuals on our leadership teams. But we're trying to make sure that we are taking advantage of opportunities in the community to engage.
Okay.
It's one of the reasons that as soon as I got the position, Debbie and I talked about economic development.
We so appreciate that.
Because we need to be at the table. Not everybody has to come to us. We've got to be out there. The next step, and I'm trying to be methodical with my use of time and building things out so I do it right. I'll be looking to engage with the chamber in Caroline County as well, so I'm there. We're trying to also put ourselves in positions that we have individuals with interest on other local boards.
Okay.
Where it's appropriate.
Right.
So we have somebody who sits on the local YMCA board, advisory board. Is that a board specifically that deals with business? No. But there's business leaders sitting at the table, all talking about community engagement. Sitting on the Human Services Council board, same thing. Is it just about that? Yes, and again, you have other folks who are our business owners in the county sitting in those same positions. So we're trying to position ourselves where we can have organic conversations, because most of us have really good ideas and we're talking about something else. And then it turns into that, hey, you know what would be a great idea if we, and then you write it down in your notebook and you're like, I'm going to call somebody and let them know. And it doesn't happen because life gets in the way. We lose our sticky note. If you're like me, you put it in your pocket and you get it washed. But we're trying to put ourselves in those positions. We do have formal things in place, our career and technology programs, any CTE pathway. We'll use Autotech as an example. For our automotive program, they have to have a program advisory committee, a PAC, that's what we call it. They have to have a program advisory committee made up of local business folks in that trade or in that field. So we have those, but we may have folks listening who would like to be part of and who are not. Go back to the same information I shared. If you'd like to be, reach out to me. I'd rather have you contact me and I can get you in the right place than send you to somebody else and get the runaround.
Right.
Because we need to make sure our businesses are involved. So they can reach out to me, Debbie, but the other piece is we are really trying to do a better job of embedding ourselves in our community. We are the community. Most of us live here as well.
Right.
So we're trying to embed ourselves in other ways as well to be engaged.
So if you're a business leader or work in a business or an employee of something and you belong to your church, your civic group, formal organizations like you mentioned, the Human Services Council, go to the gym. If you know a teacher, if you know a guidance counselor, if you know support staff, reach out and introduce yourself, because that's the networking and that's what is necessary. I think there's something else we want to chat on, another path we want to talk about, and that's more community.
Okay.
So I think we're going to end today's episode right now, because this has been great. So again, everyone, reach out to Dr. Simmons. He's approachable. He's available. Let's help the school system, help you as business owners, as working in the community, because you've got, I think we did a quick back of the napkin study once when we were talking about the hiring event, that it might be up to 100 people who are in the pipeline at graduation, ready to start jobs then.
Yes.
Maybe job part-time, it may be getting into something that's going to turn into a career. But every year, the school system is helping 100 people who could be available. And it can't just be that one hiring event. It's got to be throughout the course of time and community to have them know about businesses. So thanks. We'll go ahead and end this episode and we'll go jump right into the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to Featured Insights and look for us on your favorite podcast platform.